I 3D printed this Stormtrooper helmet from Star Wars, and it took just under 2 weeks to fully print the 16 pieces and glue them all together. And as you can see, some of the pieces didn't quite line up right, so there's some imperfections in the cracks that we're gonna have to go ahead and sand before we can have the Bondo. So we're gonna go ahead and start the sanding process now. Now that the helmet's sanded, we're going to cover the cracks and seams with this plastic wood filler, and then we're going to touch up any other places we need to as well. This is what the helmet looks like after the plastic wood filler has dried. It went onto the helmet pink and it dried brown. We covered half the helmet with the filler. We filled all the cracks and seams that we didn't want to see, and some of the other rougher spots as well. So now we're gonna have to go and sand all of this down and see how it looks. It's the next day and I finally got around to sanding the Bondo off this helmet. There's still some on there you can see, but that's just covering the cracks and seams and imperfections we wanted to hide. The next step is to coat it with filler primer and sanding in between with 220 grit sandpaper. We're gonna do 2 rounds of the filler primer and we should be ready for paint after that. I just finished priming the helmet. I did 2 coats of primer. I sanded it in between. There's still a couple rough spots on this, but it's looking pretty good. I might do 1 more coat of primer before we start painting. But the next thing you guys will see will be me taping off some of the pieces on this helmet to get started with the paint. So it's been about a week now since you guys saw the last clip. I stopped filming because I left this out in the sun and the Arizona sun just completely destroyed this thing. It left a big dent up in the top, kind of morphed it a little bit. So I had to go through and re-bondo the whole top part, sand it, the whole process. So I was kind of frustrated, didn't end up filming that. But long story short, what I ended up doing after that was going through and just spray painting the entire thing and then hand painting the black parts, because taping this helmet off with how many corners and like little crevices there are is just a pain. It was terrible. So just hand painted that. The last thing we have to do is put the visor in, and I'll show you the visor next. This is the visor I ended up getting. Go on Amazon, type in Tinted Visor, and it's like the first thing that pops up. So it's definitely big enough for anything that you would want or need it for. Usually you would go and measure your helmet and cut it out exactly how it should fit, and hot glue it into the helmet, but I'm not going to do that today because I figured out that I can just kind of bend it and stick it up in there and it holds perfectly fine without gluing it. So maybe in another video I'll teach you guys how to cut it and make it fit good into your helmet. But for now we'll just stick it up in there and we'll show you guys the completed helmet. So this is the helmet with the visor in it. It looks pretty good. You can't even tell that it's not glued in. It's just kind of resting in there. So I'm pretty happy with it for now. I might do another video later on cutting the visor and gluing it in for a perfect fit and doing whatever other touch-up details I have to on this. But this looks pretty good for now. You got to keep in mind that this is 3D printed. It came in 16 pieces that I had to glue together, and when I was gluing them together I did not think it would turn out this good at all. So I'm pretty happy with this, and it's not going to be for a costume or anything. It's just going to be a shelf piece. So yeah, might be another video on this, maybe not sure yet. If you guys like this, make sure to let me know by liking the video, subscribing. If you guys want to see me make anything specific, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think of this helmet in the comments as well. This is from a free 3D print file, so I'm pretty happy with that. Otherwise, this is the finished helmet, and I'll see you in the next one.